And now we're going to talk about discipline with preschoolers and kindergartners. That's between the ages of 3 and 5. Remember, children during this age, they act in ways to obtain approval from us. They require good behavior models. Teachers should lead by example. Anything that you do, the child may want to follow. An effective way to discipline a child during this age is be consistent. Use verbal rules. And also provide small consequences. Make sure that you set out the rules in the classroom ahead of time so that they know that there are consequences for the rules that are broken. You can also do this in your household. Also, you can listen and negotiate with the child. Let the child talk to you about what's on their mind. They may be frustrated about something, and it can help you understand why they're behaving that way. An ineffective way to discipline a child during this age is lectures. They are definitely counterproductive. A key rule is make sure to pay attention to the child. This can increase positive behavior. By doing this, it includes being aware and being interested in their school activities. Show the child that you care about them. And now we're going to talk about tips for teachers, and it also works for parents. Make sure to be consistent and follow through. I think that's definitely the main rule. Try and seek out the why of the behavior and the surrounding circumstances. See, maybe they were tired, maybe they didn't have enough space. Definitely the why. Choose your battles carefully. Not everything is worth fighting over. Provide opportunities for the child to make his or her own choices. They like to feel independent, so this would be key. Use positive praise and of good behavior. Remember to praise the action, not the child themselves. And now I'm going to ask you guys some questions just to see if you guys understood what we talked about today. Should we address the child in front of his or her class?
No, because that way they get embarrassed.
Very good. You don't ever want to address the child in front of his or her class. They may not even listen to what you were saying, and like he said, they will definitely be embarrassed.
I have a question.
Yes.
What about with your child at home? Let's say that they misbehave and there are other people around. Should you take them in another room, or is it okay to discipline them in front of the other people that are there?
You should take them in a different room. You still don't want to make the child feel belittled or unwanted. It'll make them feel uncomfortable. So definitely take them in another room. All right. Is discipline the same for everyone despite their ages?
I'd say obviously not. You gave very different examples for the different age groups.
Yes. Like I said earlier in the presentation, appropriate discipline for a toddler is not going to be the same discipline for a 5-year-old. Are discipline and punishment the same thing? Anybody?
No, they're not.
All right. And can you tell me why?
Well, because discipline is to help you grow and punishment is counterproductive. It doesn't really help the child.
Right. You need discipline with consequences. Discipline can help the child. It's developmentally appropriate for them. Punishment is just a consequence with no reason and no kind of guidance. Guidance is the key word there.
Can I ask you another question?
You may.
Can you give any examples of rules that you might have around the house? Let's say you said you could have rules for a 5-year-old, or maybe at your school. What would be an example of a rule and a consequence that you'd see at school?
Well, when you tell them to line up with hands behind their back and a bubble in their mouth, which means you don't talk, if they line up and they're talking, then they can be put in the back of the line. Nobody likes to be in the back of the line. So it's a small consequence, but it's appropriate for the action. It's not a terrible thing that they're talking in line. It doesn't, no kind of punishment or anything is needed. So just a simple move to the back of the line usually will take care of the problem. Or another example I have is that you can move your colors. At where I work, we have a color sheet. You get green if you're good, you get yellow if you have a couple warnings, and you get red if you've just had a very off day. And a child does not like to move their color. So if you tell them they're going to move their color, it can be a consequence for something like throwing toys or talking during class. So it's just, that's another example. All right. Last question I have for you guys. Is it okay to blame the child when disciplining?
No, because it could be not that they're acting out. It could just be that they're frustrated with the toy. The toy might not be working the way it should, and they're getting frustrated, and they throw the toy. They're not actually acting out. It just could be that they're frustrated or tired or hungry or.
Exactly. That's the perfect answer I was looking for. And also, to go inside with that, make sure that you never tell the child that they're bad. This is very harmful to their self-esteem, and it can cause attachment problems. You do not want the child to to think that they're bad. Their action may be bad, but the child themselves are not bad.
I also remember you saying that you praise the behavior, not the child. So you're also not supposed to say to the child that they're a good boy or a good girl either. You want to praise the behavior, not them.
Right.
Why is that?
Instead of saying, wow, you did such a good job, let them tell you how they feel. Ask them, what picture did you draw? What did you draw? Are you happy that that's what you drew? Let them, because a child just wants to make you happy. So if you just let them tell you that they're happy, let them show that they're excited. You want to see their emotions. So, well, I guess we got questions from the audience. So I hope that you guys have all learned something about effective discipline for different age groups. And I hope that it can help you guys as teachers or as parents. I really appreciate your time attending this presentation. At this time, if there are any unanswered questions, ask them now.
No, thought it was very interesting.
Thanks again for attending this presentation.